hang on a second. If I go to my profile match history, I believe it was this. Okay, I gotta show off this replay. I was playing some Magmar, and I got this game off stream. And this is another great thing about Duelyst, is I was trying to build like a hyper control Magmar. Like a lot of healing. I've got like Earth Spheres, Venom Toth. It's a 3-mana 3/3 that when your opponent summons a minion, you deal 1 to the enemy general. So we're just going to let this play. I went up against Real Blitz, which was playing aggro Songhai. And you can also fast forward the replays, and real time on is it's not automatically cutting out the time we spend thinking. I was confused on how to play around the Infiltrator plus respawning 2/1. The trick when you're playing against Infiltrate is to fight to get onto this side of the board. So that my Infiltrate stuff, if I want to hit you with it, it doesn't have its Infiltrate bonus. So that was just an unfortunate matchup where you were playing a deck that wanted to be kind of defensive, summon a big zoo, and force me to wade through a bunch of bodies. And I was playing a deck that gets bonuses by being aggressive onto your side of the board. So they played Lantern Fox, and then Phoenix Fire lets them kill my Venom Toth. And the way Lantern Fox works is that when it takes damage, it gives you another Phoenix Fire into your hand. So I hit the Kaido Assassin and then Blood Tier Alchemist to deal 1 to finish it off. I summoned it behind me to play around Backstab, which is a Songhai mechanic where they deal bonus damage when a unit attacks you from the square directly behind you. I could have summoned Blood Tier Alchemist on this square so that Kalios has to hit it if they want. But I take a bunch of damage anyway. By playing the Blood Tier Alchemist behind me, it lets me have this 2 damage sort of loaded up in the chamber that I can then employ to trade into something if need be. That spell we just saw was Saberspine Seal, where it gives a unit +3 attack this turn. This is Elixir of Wrath. And so they just smork me with a Lantern Fox, and then it gives them a Phoenix Fire into their hand. So now, if I kill the Lantern Fox, be it with Blood Tier Alchemist or whatever, my opponent's going to get another Phoenix Fire in their hand. Error-prone Robot says, "Sup, Scar. Happy to catch you streaming some Duely. Let's get the news out there and get that in-client tournament stretch goal." Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've been telling people to check out the Kickstarter. In-client tournament mode is such a godlike stretch goal. I really hope they hit that one. We've been shattering all of the other ones. We've got like 10 days left, I think, in the Kickstarter still. So please, every little bit counts. It's Poggerino. And then if we can get in-client tournaments, you'll be able to play in grassroots tournaments literally multiple times a day. The grassroots scene in Duelyst is stronger than Runeterra's is when it comes to people fiending for competitive events, let me tell you. So now this is my play. I hit the land. I traded my unit, right? Sometimes, here's the thing with Duelyst as well. You'll say, oh, I want to use my general to kill something. Giving up some of my HP in order to keep a unit alive in play might be better sometimes. So you can trade the unit into something elsewhere later or use it as a body blocker. And I have to protect my HP in this matchup. So my unit is always going to trade there instead of my general to keep myself topped off. So now I'm thinking about running away. The problem is that if I walk this way, then Kalios gets behind me, and all the backstab units are now in prime position to start giving me problems. So I have to be, like, keeping my distance, but also not letting Songhai get in a really strong position behind me. And also, I have to threaten this Chakri avatar. So I take the most hedging my bets middling position of all time, where I just stay somewhat defensive. Taking the center of the board is kind of always correct, just as a rule of thumb, because it gives you a lot of access to every quadrant of the board. Like, because I have Veteran Silithar here, I can walk over here to summon something here, walk over here. So now with this unit in play, I have access to all of the board. So it lets me kind of keep up with this fork that Kalios is working on, where we have this scaling unit that's up in the corner that's going to come into play and then kill me. Because this gets +1/+1 permanently per every spell Kalios casts. And then Kalios potentially trying to walk behind me and do backstab stuff, or walk up into this corner and summon another, like, backline engine like Four Winds Magi and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to go for here, with just a solid middle ground play, not committing too heavily to predicting my opponent's win condition at this point in time. Because when you see Chalkry Avatar, Lantern Fox, main deck Phoenix Fire, you're thinking spell combo. So I need to be a little bit close to my opponent as well to break their spell artifact called the mask, the Blood Rage Mask. Mist Dragon Seal gives an ally +1/+1 permanently. That stacks with Chalkry Avatar's +1/+1. Then you can move it to any space on the board you want. Mist Dragon Seal got nerfed to 2 mana in Duelyst 2. It used to just be 1 mana. And all the high-level players hated this card because it meant that you could just throw a unit up into a corner where I couldn't interact with it or reach it, and then throw it into wherever you needed it to be in order to become a massive threat or to answer one of my threats. And so it felt like you were kind of cheating. What did I do? So I used my Veteran Silithar to trade into the Chalkry Avatar. It leaves an egg behind, so I get a body blocker here. And then I can summon Young Silithar as another body blocker, and then Earth Sphere. 4 mana heal 8. I believe this used to be 4 mana heal 10, and it got nerfed, I believe, to heal 8, and it's still very good. So I just took that big, my opponent took a big swing, right? Mist Dragon Seal, Phoenix Fire directly on my face, with the Chalkry Avatar, sending all of your units, all of your burn to face, and then me healing it off is very, very good for me, obviously. If my opponent predicted I was running a ton of healing like that, they could have had the Chalkry Avatar kill the Veteran Silithar, and then Kalios kills the egg. But they had Ghost Lightning for my eggs, which is deal 1 damage to enemy minions. Very strong. Now, again, they're doing it again. They put the Kaido Assassin up here because they're very obviously going to send this into position with Mist Dragon Seal. So now that I'm on this side of the board, my back tile here is exposed. And anything I summon behind me to protect my back will also have its back exposed. So then the backstab gets to start wreaking havoc on me when you're in a position like this versus Songhai. And you have to play your units in front and behind you in order to play around backstab. And it's the conga line formation. And so, in order to not have this get buffed with a bunch of spells and then flown into position to kill me, I use my Mechanictor War Beast as a 6 mana deal 3 to remove this from play, and then walk away from Kalios so that he can't backstab me either. Songhai has a card called the Mask of Shadows, which allows their general to have backstab and get tons of bonus damage. Here comes Tuskboar plus Killing Edge, which is just, I summon a 3/3 that can move and attack, give it +4 attack, and then hit me with it. And then they kill my War Beast. And then Phoenix Fire to face once more. And so, this is the most busted unit in the game. At the start of your turn, this returns to your action bar. If I don't kill this Tuskboar, it will go back to my opponent's hand and they can resummon it and deal another 3 damage to me. So I have to clear this Tuskboar if I'm able. And I'm at 8 HP. I've already healed for 8 with Earth Sphere, and I've been body blocking and running away like a madman, just trying to outlast this damage output. And so, I just heal for 8. And I think the only way I can deal with the Tuskboar is if I get natural selection here or Eggmorph. And I don't get it. You can replace 1 card from your hand, shuffle it back into your deck every turn. I can't get a thing to kill the Tuskboar, so I'm just going to play something defensively behind me like I was talking about. And I have mana for Blood Tier Alchemist. I Mind Steal here? Okay, I'm actually a god. Mind Steal replaces my hand with a copy of my opponent's hand. So I get Lantern Fox, Tuskboar, Inner Focus, which activates an allied minion with 3 or less attack. You can use it to activate a minion, aka get rid of its summoning sickness, or if a unit has attacked already, I can activate it so it can move and attack again, and that's for 0 mana. But the trade-off is that it only works on units with 3 or less attack. And then Spiral Technique. 7 mana, deal 8 to a unit. This is like Fire Blast from, what's it called? Pyroblast from Hearthstone, or Decimate in Runeterra, where it's just you spend a lot of mana to deal a lot of direct damage to your opponent. And this is like the Songhai Hail Mary finisher. So I used Mind Steal, which is 2 mana, to take my opponent's hand. And I can't deal with the Tusk Boar, so when I end my turn, my opponent is going to get this Tusk Boar back. So now I also know what my opponent's hand is. They have Lantern Fox, Inner Focus, Spiral Technique, Tusk Boar, Tusk Boar. And so I kind of have a better idea of how much burst damage I have to play around from this position. And now I have burst combo. This is why I have one of Mind Steal in my deck. It's absolutely hilarious. And because the Tusk Boar goes back to my opponent's hand, it loses the Killing Edge buff. So now their Tusk Boar is just a 3/3. I still draw cards naturally from my deck, by the way, so I get more healing. And Zen Rui, which allows me to control a nearby enemy minion with 2 or less attack, so I can steal my opponent's Lantern Fox. My opponent does Lantern Fox plus Inner Focus, again, so it can move and attack immediately. When this attacks me, I attack it back, and it adds a Phoenix Fire to my opponent's hand. Then they attack me with the Tusk Boar. And they use the Phoenix Fire they just got off of the Lantern Fox to hit me in the face. So, I know my opponent has another Tusk Boar. I'm calculating damage here. I can use Zen Rui to steal their Lantern Fox and then Inner Focus so that their Lantern Fox can move and attack immediately, and then I can get a Phoenix Fire. But I know that my opponent has Spiral Technique, right? So I have to heal this turn. And because Spiral Technique is 7 and Tusk Boar is 2, my opponent can burst me for 11. Do I have 14 burst here? Let me see. I have 9 mana. I can do... I might have missed lethal this turn. Hang on. I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 burst. I have 18 burst. Because I can use Tusk Boar to deal 3 and then Inner Focus it to deal 3 more. So this is 8 plus 6 is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm 2 off of lethal this turn. And because I'm 2 off lethal this turn, and like if I was in a better spot, if I'd been able to hit my opponent one extra time, I'd be at 6, they'd be at 18, I'd be able to burst them down. So because I don't have lethal here, I think I do have to do it. I think your only winning move is to go into the corner and surround yourself with minions. With Tusk, I know my opponent just used their Lantern Fox, their Inner Focus, and they used the Phoenix Fire they got off of Lantern Fox. It doesn't actually tell me where this came from, if it was main deck or off of Lantern Fox. So my opponent could not have Phoenix Fire. And if I play Young Silithar, then the Egg is also protecting me, and then Rejuvenator. So I think I do end up surrounding myself with minions here. I just reminded myself that this is the worst game for backseating. It's hard, right? Because there's a lot of branching, viable, different plays that you can make. And the way you move and develop and play around stuff really showcases not just your fundamental knowledge, but just your play style. So we clear the Tusk Boar, I Zen Rui the Lantern Fox, and then I Emma Rejuvenator. So now I'm up to 12. And my opponent can clear this egg from the Young Silithar. I think I could have done my movement differently there, so that the egg is on a different tile and I have a 4/4 protecting here rather than a 0/1 that can't be moved by Kalios. Kalios can also kill the Lantern Fox, I guess, so it doesn't matter. A spot can be opened up by Kalios. So theoretically, my opponent can clear this Lantern Fox, do Tusk Boar, Inner Focus, Tusk Boar plus Spiral Technique. And that was, what did we calculate that as? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage burst. Did my opponent replace? I don't think I caught a replace. So if they have their other Tusk Boar, Inner Focus, and Spiral Technique in the hand still, they do have lethal this turn. There's the replace. And sometimes your opponent gets too caught up in trying to answer your threats. And my opponent might just be thinking, not trying to go for a combo kill, Probably trying to just get more Phoenix Fires and Lantern Foxes to deal burn damage and finish with Spiral Technique, rather than actually going in with the Tusk Boar combo. Because now I have a threatening board, and I can actually pull off that combo at 9. They only had the 1 boar, no? No. I know my opponent had 2 boar because they had a boar in play, and then I cast Mind Steal to get a boar for me. So I know that they had 2 boar. But my opponent just might not have seen it. So I think, you know, in the perfect world, I die regardless. And my opponent's drawn a couple cards since then. Yeah, see, they have the boar. Oh, you know what it is? It's because they used their inner focus already. That's what it was. They used their inner focus already on the Lantern Fox. So they can't do boar. They can't do boar inner focus boar. That's why they didn't have the lethal. My mistake. They had 11 damage there. Wait, if they had Jux, that was hella lethal. Wait a minute. No. Wait, no. Okay, no. If they have Jux, they still can't get their general in position. Oh, they have Mist Dragon Seal? Wait. Okay, yeah, so I see, yeah, they're setting me down to Spiral Technique range. They were one-off lethal, so they should have just, I think, ran away, Spiral Technique, and then saved the boar plus Jux to finish me off. Because they had used their inner focus already, I do have the lethal here. I'm just double checking my math. Because they hit my Lantern Fox. They hit my Lantern Fox, so they dropped down to 18. I've got 4 damage here with the Rejuvenator. Yeah, so it's 4, and then boar, inner boar, then Spiral Technique. Yep. Wasn't my egg supposed to hatch? I don't know. No, it's end of turn? End of turn, not start of turn. The Spiral Technique. So Mind Steal allowed me to take my opponent's combo and kill them with it. I thought that was a really cool game.